518 trips, 9 months into this business, a power host on the Turo platform, out here in Las Vegas with over 20 cars on our fleet. Let's tap into this. Should you start a Turo rental business? And I'm going to give you guys a few things before you get started and decide to. First off, I wish I did my research. So God bless you for just being curious and doing your research, looking up videos like this, because this is what is going to continue to allow you to make a better decision. Even though you are taking a risk, it's great to take high calculated risks, and I'm all about that. You are probably considering getting started or maybe trying to scale your fleet. This is definitely the channel for y'all. I'm gonna give you guys pretty much my whole journey, and I'm gonna be documenting it all. So I just want to be able to share that, be super transparent about the info. So today we got 4 things on whether you should get started and how to decide to get started in a Turo car rental biz. Number 1, and I think this is really important, it's having a vision, beginning with the end in mind, right? Do you want to do this part-time or full-time? I read this book by Stephen Covey. It's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And number 1, begin with end in mind. I think this is such an important thing to have for anyone that's starting or growing a business. You might not have all the answers right away, but at least start with the end in mind. When I started this, I thought it would be a cool little side hustle. Now I'm like in the day-to-day trenches, kind of managing it. We have a daily check-in, check-out team that cleans, helps us out a lot because it's a lot of check-ins and check-outs, but I'm like the strategist. I'm helping maintain all the different departments, making sure that our guests are happy and our cars are clean, maintained, and everything's good and running across the board. My partner that I partnered up with, he does a lot of big expansion, and at first I just thought this was going to be a great side hustle as just a rental car biz, but as we're expanding, we see this bigger than just renting vehicles, and we're going to be tapping into different industries. So if you guys are excited about that, you guys can go ahead and support. I'll be sharing my whole journey, but begin with end in mind. Even if it's like, hey, I just want to get started with one car. A couple months later, a year later, you're like, man, this is going great. What would be going on if I had 2 or 3 cars? So have a vision for what you're going to do. I like this quote. It says, build a business. Build a business. It's going to end up in 2 things. Number 1, you fail. Now you have a story. Number 2, you succeed. Now you have a business. Either way, it's going to be a win. And I think if we can see that from a, entrepreneur type of perspective, business owner, someone that's running any type of hustle, it takes a mindset that is not focusing on problems, but focusing on solutions and always seeing the good in things. Yes, there's going to be times where, hey, cars might get nails in them. There's going to be all these different options, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to always think, well, how can I serve? How can I help? And this is going to build you up. So know that this is going to build you up no matter what comes through. But if you're open, you're willing to take these risks and solve problems, this might be the business model for you. Number 2, before getting started and considering, is market research. Do some research in your market. Literally download the Turo app, look into your marketplace, see what cars are out there, how many trips these people are getting. Just start looking at all the people within your city. And if it's a place that, hey, it looks like people are renting and those are pretty decent pricing, then you can start going out there and comparing, right? Whether you're going to finance a car or buy cash. I prefer cash. I'll share that in the next one. But at the end of it, as long as there's bookings taking place and you're willing to create an extra few $100s a month in profit, it might be a good place in your market. Look what's getting rented. Look whether it's economy, luxuries, what are all the hosts, what are the reviews saying. Just start doing market research. It'll take you a good 30 minutes to an hour one day. And that's all you got to do to at least get some information. And that's just scratching the surface. You'll learn a lot along the way. But if you can prove that it's already working in your area, it might be a good marketplace to list a vehicle. 3, and this is probably always the most asked question, is what type of vehicle, what type of car? I would go mainly economy, and I would possibly go the cash route. I go buy a car in cash if you legit don't want the most risk. I financed a majority of the vehicles we have on the fleet, which was not the brightest idea. There's probably a lot of car or power hosts. There's probably a lot of hosts out there that are laughing at us, but I'm willing to take big risk. And why? I'm going all the way to the extreme of the spectrum to say, hey, that's how I did it. Now we're paying off our cars one by one. It's been a great game plan with that. Just tap in if you guys want to kind of follow this whole journey, because again, 9 months in, but we're taking big risks. We run different types of businesses. So we were able to really just go all out because we saw how hot the market was. But as far as the vehicles, I'd go cash. I'd start off and go economy. I believe right now Turo has it where you can't list anything that's 10 years older. So it can't be that old. But hey, as long as it's running, and I'd possibly look at a few of these factors, whether the car has a GPS. A lot of people look for GPS. It's not the highest priority. Definitely Bluetooth or a USB connector as well to make sure that they can get their phone and listen to music. Okay, people don't always want to listen to radio, so if you have those things with the vehicle, it's running, it goes from A to B, a lot of people are okay with that. I'd start off with the economy route, and there's so many different types of economies. I've made different videos on what's running with us, and a lot of people want economy vehicles. They just want to get to A to B. Most don't really pay for the luxury unless they got that mindset. A lot more people that are working in high status positions, jobs, titles, that are traveling in Vegas or just wanting to impress people, they go for our luxury vehicles. But our luxury is very, very small. I'd start off with any of those. You can literally do a research, get a Corolla, get a Sentra, get a Civic, right? Get a Kia. All these book onto the platform. And you can go look. You don't even have to look at your marketplace. Look at what possibly your marketplace doesn't have. And if it's renting in other marketplaces, I'm sure as long as it's a well-known car brand, boom, you can list it onto the platform and get it started. I go the car cash route. I am actually documenting a journey right now of our latest cash car, and that'll be dropped. If you guys are watching this maybe weeks or months later, you'll see that video, but I'm pretty much documenting the whole process, teaching you how to go A to Z on how to do that and how we're able to do it and restore a car and get it onto the Turo platform. So any type of vehicle, I go with the economy route starting off, go the cash car route, and you should be fine. But let's say you already have a vehicle that you're financing and it's just sitting there. There's certain days where it's not getting used. I would possibly go with that. I mean, if you're not attached to it, if you don't care if dings or scratches come, you can't be attached to the car, okay? I'm not attached to any of our cars, even though they're newer 2017, 2018, 2019 vehicles. I'm not attached to it. If they get scratches or dings, I know we can get it repaired, or we have to charge the claim, get more money from it. There's ways around it. So I would go, if it's financed, great. Leased vehicles, I've never done, so I'm not going to share with you guys anything on having a vehicle leased because of the mileage. A lot of the renters, they do a certain amount of mileage. There's like 200 days minimum that they can do per day. So just be aware of that, okay, if people do longer trips. But yeah, I'd possibly go the cash route. If you do have a car that is financed and it's just sitting on the driveway and you just want to make extra cash, pay the car note, pay the insurance, then you can go that route too, okay? There's no downside. Again, a lot of our cars are financed and it's been working great for us. Last thing, number 4 that you want to consider is flexibility. How flexible are you? Because you're going to get those calls or those messages where, hey, a flat tire, what should I do? We had a person literally ask us the other day, like, hey, I can't start the car. They were calling us for 30 minutes, and my friend that was managing her as a guest, right, he couldn't answer because he was working on something else. He finally picked it up and she couldn't start the car. The reason why is because she didn't push her foot on the brakes and then hit the push to start, and it started. So there's going to be emergencies. There's going to be questions, is what I'm saying. Customer service is big, and you can't expect this to be a passive income type of business. Check-ins, check-outs, we personally like to meet our guests because we want to connect with them, see what they're at, what they're doing, where they're at. There's other people that have completely where it's just a contactless drop off. They teach them how to do it, get the key, all that stuff, and get it going, and that's fine. However you want to run your business, that's up to you. We like the more intimate, connecting type of business because it's helped us get a lot of reviews, get reoccurring clients, and it's been building and thriving for a long term. It's a long-term play for us. The thing is, and my point is flexibility. How flexible are you when it comes to doing check-ins, check-outs? Again, if you don't have that flexibility, you can do contactless. It's up to you. But there's going to be times where customers are going to message you and ask you questions along the way, and have certain things that's probably needed. It's rare that it's going to be urgent within the hour, like the person that couldn't start their car because they didn't push the brakes, right? And then there's times where it's like, hey, a couple hours later, it's just common questions where you'll be able to answer. And that's why I tell people, just get started with one vehicle, see how that flow is, and then add another one and build it over time. We just went straight 20 in like 90 days, and we learned a lot, and that's why I'm going to be teaching you guys this journey. But yeah, flexibility is key. If you are flexible throughout this whole process, then, hey, it's going to be possibly a good side hustle. And then if you have someone that's a backup to help you just in case you're not immediately available, let's say you're working a full-time job, then maybe having a backup person that can answer calls during those times would be great as well. Hopefully you guys learned something from here. Any questions, drop them below. I just dropped a video of 4 things to know before you get onto Turo. We go a little bit into detail about the type of listings, locations, just some things to know before you 100% go on. I'd watch that video. If you guys have any questions, drop in the comments. Tap in if you enjoyed. You guys have a blessed week. Take care. Bye-bye.